walked into four-wheel drive. And tell me something good.
Good morning. It is another day of working in the shop, and today we're working on the world's largest off-road wrecker. So last time we put new drive shafts on, and we had some drive shaft vibration in the front, and I was baffled.
Are you kidding me?
But that's because I was shooting from the hip. Since then, I've done a whole bunch of math, and now I know exactly what the problem is. Let me show you. I'm not gonna bore you again with constant velocity versus variable velocity, but this is what's happening. We have the transfer case, we have a CV joint that's gonna be marked with two lines, cut, and then it comes downhill like that. It's coming downhill at a 10-degree angle, and it's also a constant velocity. Then it has to go around a corner this way, and then back like this. This is the pinion shaft. So what the problem is I've got a constant velocity coming downhill at 10 degrees, but then that constant velocity needs to enter into here at 0 degrees, but these two angles don't cancel each other out by 10 degrees. That's way too much. So I checked the rear drive line too. I have about a 4-degree discrepancy there. So even though we're not getting any noticeable rear drive shaft vibration, I'm gonna fix that first, and then I'm gonna try to get this 10 degrees. I think we're gonna end up cutting C's before this is over. But I wanna see if I can get the vibration out first, and then we'll solve the other problems. So we are in a very noisy work environment today because the guys over in Bay 3 are working on stuff. So this drivetrain, it's angled back 6 degrees. So we need to put the pinion up so that it's also at 6 degrees. And right now the pinion is up at 2 degrees and the engine's still back at 6 degrees. So we've just got to get 4 more degrees and then we're good.
I think that's the size we need right there. Yeah, how did I do these in the first place, I wonder?
Got it. Okay. Yeah. I know you mean well. All right. We got the jam nuts undone. Now I'm going to put the angle finder right here where it matters on the pinion, and we're going to rotate it. So we need to twist it back, which is this way. We'll go 1 turn on this one, and then 1 turn on this one. What did that do? 2.3. Nice. Okay. Go 1 more on that one. All right, that looks perfect. Now we've got to tighten this all up. Now that we've got this adjusted, we have introduced positive caster into this particular axle. I have no idea what effect that has on a rear steer. You want positive caster in the front. You want about 6 degrees. I mean, it's application dependent, but we now have 6 degrees of positive caster on this rear axle. Driveline angle is completely fixed on the rear. It's the simple one. And now I'm expecting virtually 0 drive shaft vibration. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, we had like 0.5 before this adjustment. So I'm expecting it to be effectively 0. But here's the problem with the front. Let me tell you what the problem is, and I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. So to fix the drive shaft angle, I need to lift the pinion up 10 degrees. That is going to give me 10 degrees of negative caster on the front, which is an absolute no-no. Well, here's the deal. It's links, so nothing's permanent. So I can adjust it, see if I get the drive shaft vibration out. If I do get the drive shaft vibration out and I'm not seeing any effects of the negative caster in handling and driving, then we'll just leave it. If the drive shaft vibration is gone, but the handling is compromised, then we have to do something I like to call major surgery. And that involves cutting the ends of these axle tubes off and rotating the C's. Oh man. Wow. But let's just do first things first. Let's adjust the front, see what happens. So I was thinking that not only could I rotate this axle a little bit, but I could also raise this carrier bearing. If I raise the carrier bearing, then this drive shaft angle is less. So we do have some options, but I'm thinking we're eventually going to be cutting those C's and rotating it. And all our problems will just evaporate. Wow. Ow, that hurt. All right, that worked. We've got our pinion angle up about 4 degrees, and I think we can live with that. We're still off a little over 5 degrees of angle reconciliation, but I think I can raise the carrier bearing up, and that will level out this one. We've got this drive shaft completely level right now, so it's not dropping at all to the differential. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see if we have enough.
7.5.
Yeah.
What about now?
4.7. 5. 6. 7.
And we're at 4?
It went all the way to 4.
4.6
Yeah.
at its lowest angle.
All right, I quickly whipped up this spacer adapter. This is to lift my carrier bearing up. And yes, there's plenty of room. This is quite a bit. I think this is pretty beefy because the bracket that goes around the carrier bearing is just this thin stamp. It's thinner than this. So I think this is plenty strong. If not, we'll build a stronger one. It is gonna be quite the battle to get that nut in there and get that tightened up. But it's the battle I chose. All right, I've got all my modifications made and we're ready for the test drive. So what happens now is my drive shaft is at 6 degrees, my pinion angle is about 4.2 degrees or 4.3, something around there. This will let us know if we're going the right direction. Might be good enough, I don't know, we gotta test it. First thing we're going to test is two-wheel drive to see if we are 11% better or 2% or whatever we were aiming for. It wasn't the bad one. Also, we're testing for weird handling. I don't feel anything weird. It feels exactly like it did, except for there is less vibration, so it feels better. Feels just like it always does at 40 miles an hour. It's about 1,500 RPM drive shaft speed. First test went well. It handles like it always has, which is about how you think it would, but there is less vibration everywhere. So the real test is here in a second when we put it in four-wheel drive, and we'll be taking that reading on the Richter scale. All right, we are locked into four-wheel drive. And tell me something good.
made the changes.
This has been keeping me up at night.
Well, now you can sleep like a baby. That is low.
There's no vibration anywhere. There's nothing. I'm getting no feedback. Yeah, we're just in four-wheel drive, driving around.
Yeah.
Drive back to the shop in four-wheel drive. I don't believe it.
Wow.
It feels about like a regular rig if you were in four-wheel drive.
Yeah, like the banana. It's actually better than the banana.
It's better than the banana. We're still off by like 6 degrees, but I'm not gonna fix it. We don't need to fix anything. We don't need to rotate. We don't need to rotate the C's. Nothing. Oh man, feels good to win every once in a while. So here's a really quick recap. We went from 0 degrees pinion angle to about 5.5 degrees in the rear. The drivetrain is setting at 6 degrees, so that's perfect. We have a constant velocity joint, but the drive shaft was coming down at a 10-degree angle, and the pinion on this one was at 0 degrees. And so we lifted up the carrier bearing and got this to about 6 degrees or 5.5 degrees. And we've got this one rotated up to about, what did we do, 3 degrees?
It was like 4 something.
4 degrees, oh, 4 degrees, so we're close. So we've got 4 degrees of negative caster, but since this is full hydraulic, we have seen absolutely zero issue. It doesn't feel any different, it's not twitchy, there's no death wobble tendencies, it's just driving just as per normal. All right, let's do the next thing. What's the next thing, lunch?
Yep.
So a fan brought us in some pizza. Mountain Mike's.
So that's what I'm eating for lunch. Don't they know I'm on a diet?
Apparently not.
It's okay, I like a cheat day every once in a while. The wrecker's done, and I checked my watch, and we've got just enough time for one more project, and that's the banana. Let me show you what's wrong and what we're gonna do to fix it. Turns out it's a maintenance day. This is a Ford Super Duty axle. It's like a 05 and newer. So this is a 2008 Ford Super Duty front axle. We've narrowed it. We did a bunch of work. You guys watched it. There was some debate on whether or not I needed to put this seal in back here. And some people told me that you had to have this seal because the unit bearings weren't sealed. So I was told that I needed this seal or else the unit bearings wouldn't be protected and they would get ruined. And I looked the unit bearings over and they were sealed. So I'm like, oh, we don't need this. It turns out we do need this. I'm gonna show you why right now. So the seal we're talking about has two functions. One, it seals this up so that the automatic hubs work, and they work with air pressure, vacuum, and whatnot. But the second thing they do is they keep water out of the locking hub. And since we didn't have them, it didn't keep the water out, and it did some damage. We pulled this apart and looked at it yesterday, and man, is it a mess. So it's one thing that this is all covered with rust. We could clean that off and grease it up, put the seals in and go on our way. But something bad happened right here. Ooh. That part that's seized in there with rust, there was roller bearings right here. Those roller bearings are gone. Ruined. Let me show you where they are on the new one. Right here. There's roller bearings in there. So, oh, you might also notice this is in pieces compared to this one. And that's because it's broken. Dried up, busted bearing. So the reason I inspected that one is it quit disengaging. So that hub would stay locked all the time. I have not checked this one, but I expect to find similar corrosion in here because I know how it's getting in there. Oh yeah, look at that. Same thing. Seems like the internet would have warned me about this when I did it. Well, we learned something today, we did. Half an inch at a time, just keep it a clean. Oh, now we got it. Okay. All right. On the counter. Rudy, is there something besides rust holding this in?
Well, what are you missing?
I was wondering if there's something besides rust holding this in.
Looks like just rust.
Okay, I'm gonna hold this like this. Jake, you catch that. Rudy,
Okay.
take that hammer and that drift and just tap the end of that.
Hold on, what did you do?
Well, let me get.
What's going on?
Well, we don't have all this out. Is the
Yeah,
problem.
pull that out. Did you get the C-clip out?
That no, we have not.
Okay, well we should get that.
The C-clip should have a snap ring on it.
Well, the unit bearings are fine. It just let the
Well, the hub.
let the moisture into the hub.
This is what it's like to be a construction worker.
Okay, so there's the other side of the race. So this was together as a unit, and it dried out. And wait, what else is in there?
Oh.
Another. Oh, this is the retaining ring on the end of this thing right here. And then the world's biggest snap ring. See where it's called Rudy over here? Done.
That's a really small one.
Okay, now let's see if this comes apart.
Now it just falls apart.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna get the comment. How many people does it take to work on this thing we're working on? 3. The answer is 3. All right, this bearing's definitely ruined too. So that seal not only protects the hubs, but it protects this inner bearing. Let's see if I can get a part number off of this.
Ready?
There's some writing right there.
He needs glasses, but he refuses to wear them.
Who said that?
I don't know. I heard it. 6009 2RSC3.
And then-
same number there.
And then type in bearing. All right, we got the new bearings. We got the bearing installer. Woo. These are always scary. You want to do this with your eyes closed. All right. I do not have the tool to install these seals, and I've never done it before. But I looked at them, and I thought to myself, I think there's a way. Just really gently. Okay, go. Hang on, hold on. Oh, man. You know what? I'm gonna bevel this a little bit. Now it's gonna be all jaggedy. Look how crooked that is. Why is it so crooked? Ah! I do not have the tool to install these seals, but I looked at them and I thought to myself, I think there's working. All right. Okay, we got that on there without damaging it, and that really is what was important. All right, we're gonna get some grease in here to help that slide in. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Now this is awesome. Okay, what's in there? That looks good. Some people say I use too much grease, others say I use not quite enough. But in the old Aesop's fables, you try to please everybody, you'll wind up pleasing nobody. Not even yourself. Okay, all right. Pop this in there. Okay, that's it. All right, let's get the outside. So we got these old hub parts changed and this bearing that was also compromised. Good as new. And it locks up just like it's supposed to. Well, it's good to have that done. That's 2 things marked off the maintenance list. Thanks for watching. Why is it so crooked? Like raising kids. There's some people that are gonna go and say, Matt just says if you want kids to do what they're supposed to do, you gotta hit them with a hammer. That's not what I said.